Hello everyone. Please note that this is a NotebookLM video presentation. Thank you NotebookLM. Hope you find it useful.
You know, doesn't it feel like we're living in a science fiction novel sometimes? I mean, AI is generating this breathtaking art. It's helping discover new medicines. It's doing things that just a few years ago felt totally impossible. But what if I told you that our whole approach to building AI is actually heading for a surprising dead end? Okay, let's get into it. This quote from Jeff Bezos just hits the nail on the head, right? It perfectly captures this moment we're in. We tend to see AI as this incredible, almost magical problem-solving tool. And yeah, it's playing games at a superhuman level. It recognizes our speech. It can create amazing art. But that's really only half the story. So here's our roadmap. We're going to start by exploring why this idea of AI as just a tool is starting to fail us. Then we'll look at a completely new model, a partnership model. We'll see how it actually works in the real world, uncover this invisible feedback loop that's already shaping our lives, and finally, we'll ask the big question: what does our shared future with AI really look like? All right, first up, AI's surprising dead end. And look, let's start with the successes, because they are genuinely remarkable. AI has shown this unbelievable superhuman performance in very specific, very narrow tasks. I mean, think about an AI mastering a super complex game, or generating these incredibly realistic images just from a text prompt. It really does feel like we've built the ultimate tool. But here's where the story pivots. That amazing promise of AI is running headfirst into a pretty harsh reality. See, the more powerful these so-called tools get, the more they become these mysterious black boxes. We often have no idea how they get to their conclusions, and that, naturally, leads to a major lack of trust. And this isn't just some small bug to fix. It's a fundamental problem with the whole AI as a tool way of thinking. So this dead end really has two sides to it. On the technological side, these systems are, well, they're brittle. A small change in the data can mean you have to retrain the whole thing from scratch. They're almost impossible to interpret, and they can't adapt to new situations. Then on the human side, the problems are just as serious. You've got fears about jobs, a deep lack of trust, and algorithms that just end up amplifying the real-world biases that are already in their training data. And all of this brings us to this really fascinating paradox. We've managed to build a tool that is so complex that we, the people who made it, can't actually wield it effectively or even safely. The communication gap between us and our own creation is getting wider. And it forces us to ask a really important question. Is tool even the right word anymore? Okay, this is where things get really, really interesting. There's a new model emerging that totally reframes our relationship with AI. So what if? What if we stop thinking of AI as some kind of tool that we just command and start thinking of it as a teammate we can actually collaborate and grow with? This new way of thinking is called Co-evolutionary hybrid intelligence, or CHI for short. Now, the key words to focus on here are symbiosis and mutual development. This isn't about humans getting smarter on their own or machines getting smarter on their own. Nope. It's about creating a system where both of us, human and machine intelligence, grow stronger together by teaching and learning from each other. Here's a great analogy to help understand the difference. A cognitive prosthetics is kind of like a crutch. It replaces a human ability you've lost. The old AI tool model was kind of heading in that direction. But a cognitive orthosis, that's different. It extends and augments what we're already capable of. It's not a replacement for our intellect. It's an expansion of it, a true power-up. So what's the engine that drives all of this coevolution? It's something called the human-AI feedback loop. And it's this continuous cycle that's actually already happening all around us every day. Our choices online become training data for AI. Those AIs then give us new suggestions, which influence our next choices, and the cycle just keeps on going. It's the core mechanism for this mutual learning. Okay, so that's the theory. Let's get practical. How do these hybrid human-AI teams actually solve problems out in the real world? Well, it turns out there are a few different ways this can work. There are basically three main ways this partnership plays out. First, you've got the autonomous model. This is where the AI does all the heavy lifting. It defines the problem, it searches for solutions, and this often leads to some really novel, out-there outcomes. Second, there's the sequential model. Here, the AI analyzes a problem first, then hands it off to a human to find the actual solution. This usually results in refining things we already know. And finally, you have the interactive model. This is where human and AI are true partners, working together on everything, which leads to brand new ways of combining existing knowledge. And these models are already getting some incredible results. Just look at the autonomous model. General Motors had an AI design a simple car part. It came up with thousands of options, and the final one was 40% lighter and 20% stronger than anything a human engineer could have made. Wow. Or the sequential model. An AI sifted through mountains of biological data to find potential COVID treatments, and it pointed scientists toward repurposing an existing arthritis drug, which worked. And for the interactive model, a struggling retailer actually collaborated with an AI to create brand new ad campaigns that totally turned their business around. So let's circle back to that feedback loop, because it is the invisible engine that's driving this entire process. It's happening constantly in the background of our digital lives, shaping our choices and, at the same time, being shaped by them. It's a really simple but incredibly powerful four-step cycle. First, you make a choice. You click a link, you buy a product, you take a certain route on your map app. Second, that choice becomes a new piece of data. Third, the AI algorithm gets retrained using this new data, updating its model of what you like. And fourth, it gives you new suggestions based on what it just learned, which of course influences your next choice. And the cycle repeats over and over again. Now here's the thing. This perpetual cycle can have massive and often completely unintended consequences for society. On social media, it can create echo chambers and make political polarization way worse. In online shopping, it can push everyone toward the same few hit products, which means we lose diversity. And you've probably experienced this with navigation apps, right? It sends thousands of people down the same shortcut, and boom, you've got a brand new traffic jam. This really gets to the heart of it all. It's kind of like what the sci-fi author Isaac Asimov suggested. We can't make smart decisions just based on the world as it is today. We have to understand how these feedback loops are going to shape the world of tomorrow. This is not a passive process. We are actively co-creating our future with these AI systems, whether we realize it or not. So, with all that in mind, how do we navigate this co-evolving future? What are the huge challenges we absolutely have to solve to make sure this partnership is a good one for all of us? Well, the very first step is a major change in perspective. Just building better, faster tech isn't going to cut it. We need to move towards something called society-centered AI. And what that means is we have to think about the impact on society as a whole, not just on individual users or a company's profit. It's going to require new legal frameworks, real political will, and a focus on our collective well-being. And the challenges they're huge. Technically, we don't even have good ways to measure the impact of these loops yet. Epistemologically, which is a fancy way of saying how we know what we know, we have to wrap our heads around a world of two-way causality, where we influence the AI and the AI influences us right back. Legally, we need transparency and data access so people can actually study these things. And on a societal level, we have to ask this massive question. Who gets to control the means of recommendation, and how can we make sure that power is distributed fairly? So, let's just end with this one big idea. AI isn't just another tool in the toolbox. It's a partner that we are literally growing up with, co-evolving with every single day through millions and millions of tiny interactions. It is changing us, and we are changing it. So the ultimate question isn't really what we're going to build. The real question is, who are we becoming together?